Hello. So earlier we had a quick look at Spatial and had a look at the at what it is, metaverse platform. Let's have a drink. Hang on. And last night I did some work as well on. Well, I did a stream, but I don't think anybody was watching it. So it's kind of just disappeared into the ether somewhere. So what I'm going to do today is go through very quickly and with a little bit less enthusiasm. So don't want to hate doing things again. But let's have a look at the Spatial Creator Toolkit in Unity and have a look what it is and how it can help you build experiences for Spatial. So let's start by going into the gameplay scene. So it's going to go crazy, but then I'm going to jump over to here. So if you want to get started with Spatial and building your own environments, you can go to the docs.spatial.io website and you'll see the information here for downloading the template and installing a particular version of Unity from the Unity Hub and adding WebGL support, and then you get the download the starter template. You then have to authenticate in Unity with your account, and then you're able to open up one of the demo scenes, customize it any way you want, and then test it. So what I've got here in Unity is their example. So you've got this feature demo scene, and this shows you all the different features of the components that they give to you in their toolkit, and it gives you a good overview of what you can do and what the limitations are. So I think straight away, so here's a Spatial config tab. So I think straight away I've got it set up properly. I should be able to test this immediately. So here we've got a button, test active scene, and it says you're about to upload and test your package. So we'll do that. Seems like I have to upgrade the SDK. So let's get that started. I think it might be doing it in the background somehow. Is it? In the meantime, we'll have a look at this. So all the components that are available in the package. So you have components for entrance point, thumbnail camera, environment settings, platform dependent game object. That's so that you can choose, do something different if you're in VR compared to in the browser. And the quest building system is quite interesting. Let's start with the basics though, because I know a few of these things aren't actually available yet. They're just like coming soon things, like the platform dependent game object stuff. Interactivity. So let's have a look at these. These are the basic kind of components that you can install. So a seat hotspot is a component that you can place on anything, any 3D object within your scene, and then your avatar can sit on it. So obviously it has to be quite seat-like, and at the right height, and it needs to look natural. So basically any animated or moving hotspots are not supported. Okay, interesting. So you couldn't put one of these on a moving platform, have people sit on it. Like you couldn't build a Ferris wheel or something like that. Trigger event. So when you add a trigger event, you need a collider to go with it in Unity. Just check Unity's downloading this. Spatial SDK has been upgraded. So let's OK that and then test. Oh, hang on, what's it doing? Okay. It should load up in the browser any second. In the meantime, the trigger event, basically you can trigger an event. So you have a collider somewhere in your scene, and when the user walks into it, it triggers a Unity event. So in this case, they're playing some particles, and you can set game objects to turn on and off. So that's probably your main component for creating gameplay elements within your space. There you see you have the collider. Just use any old box collider, and you can add animator events as well. Yeah, so here you can see you've got standard triggers, and then you've got like Unity events, so for on gameplay game objects. And then you've got animator events. So an animator event is if you've got a synchronized animator controller, you can trigger an animation like a door opening. And in fact, this is something that I'm going to show in a bit. And you can choose to use triggers on the animation controller to do certain things, whatever that is: door open, door close, etc. Animators in Spatial are synchronized, so you add a component to them to synchronize them. What that means is that if you've got 5 people in your space, every single person will see the same animation because it's synchronized on the server. What's going on here? Hold tight, we'll make sure we have Visual Script. Okay. Oh, it looks like they've changed a few things. Oh, they've added this ability to create badges. This is literally brand new. Like tonight, they've uploaded this. So that's interesting. I hope this all still works. Might have broken some things in my project. We'll see. So it's got accounts the same. Config looks to be pretty much the same. Template variants. That's fine. Issues none. Let me just. Then there's this new badges thing. So hopefully it's going to work. Let's just wait and see. So what other components are there? So you've got the trigger events, interactables. So they are areas, objects that if you add this component to them, you can change the icon and they will update depending on whether you're in the browser or in VR. You either press a key or you'll click the button on your controller to create some kind of event. So they basically add interactivity, so you can trigger Unity events. So you've got an enter event, exit events, and an interact event. So when you interact, it changes text as well, and it's got different icons, and you can actually change the icon as well, which is good. So you could create hotspots basically, and very simple buttons. Points of interest, information panels that pop up when you click on the icon basically. I think you can change the icon as well, maybe, I don't know. Teleporter. Now this is one of interest, and I wonder if it has limitations as well, because I was thinking of using this to create like an escape room mechanic where the teleporter is on a moving platform, and it has to be moved into a position where you can actually access it to then teleport across a gap or something. The teleporter has a box collider to detect there's a trigger, and then it has a transform for the location of the teleport, and it will link the two things up visually with this. You don't see that when you run it, but you'll like enter here and exit there, or is it the other way around? Could be the other way around. So that's an interesting mechanic. That's a way of bridging gaps and stuff. There is a known issue where teleporting while holding the keys results in the teleport possibly getting blocked by objects. Okay, I've not seen that. But... Right, what's going on here? Is it still... Oh god, this is going to take a while, isn't it? It's thinking about something here. SDK config windows and some errors on here. This looks like it's hung. Let's come back to that in a minute, and if it's hung, I might have to abandon this, do tomorrow. The camera pass-through. Use the tag an object to be ignored by the camera. This allows the camera to pass through an object, even if it has a collider. I'm not really sure what that does. Does the camera ignore collision? I'm not sure why they've added this, or what it is for. Might have to try it out and see. So synchronization, synced animator, synced object. I haven't actually seen that. I think they may have updated their docs as well. This is new, and that's an interesting thing. Let's just look at the animator first. It says here it's experimental component likely to receive changes in the future. Network syncing animations is tricky, so make sure to read carefully. The synced animator will only sync changes to parameters and triggers applied through animator events. The synced animator will not control the animator state or clip. This means that without care, the animator state can become desynced across clients, even though parameters are synced. Okay, yeah. Basically, it's saying it can get if it's too complicated with state management, then they can get out of sync very easily. Yeah, you basically need to keep it as simple as possible. Thankfully, you're not able to really control your avatar anyway and add extra motion capture data and stuff, so I don't think you'll need to create very complex animations. I think simple things like opening doors and moving things around should be relatively easy to keep in sync. If I can get mine playing today, which doesn't look like it's going to happen, this is definitely hanging. I'll have to have a look at it tomorrow when I fix this. Synced object then, so what's all this about? Before using the synced object component, make sure to familiarise yourself with the spatial netcode. Okay, that's new as well. The synced object component lets you mark a scene object or a prefab as synced. This causes the object's transform, lifetime and custom variables to be synced across all clients. That's good. So before tonight, and I haven't tested this yet, so I'm not sure if it works very well. You would have had to rely on synced animators to really have an object update at the same time on different clients. So now this allows you to actually sync specific objects, synced variables as well. So okay, that's good. So you could have, so theoretically then we could add characters into an experience, NPCs that have variables attached to them like health. You could really gamify this now and build a proper game. So things could have health. For my escape room, this could be very interesting actually. I could create something that has a kind of health to it that basically it has properties that can be synced across across clients. Embedded versus prefab. Synced objects can either be embedded in the scene, so that means you've just added them into the Unity scene, or they can be instantiated as a prefab. Yeah, so Spatial also allows you to build prefabs that are then added into your scene in real time as you're playing it, like from the toolkit. So you can, like you wouldn't at the moment, just add sort of objects, but because they're prefabs, they can have animations and interactivity within them. So that again opens up a lot of potential to have tools that you can add to a scene to do things. Save with space, embedded scene. When a new session starts, embedded scene object will always be instantiated even if they were deleted in a previous session. Okay, yeah, because at the moment when you add objects to a scene, they persist, they stay there till you delete them. So this is saying when a session ends, they can be deleted. Synced variables. Okay, sort of standard stuff like transforms and things as well. Positions, rotations. This is really interesting. Embedded scene objects. Yeah, limitations. Okay, here we go. Only the local transform is synced. If you reparent a synced object on one client, that change will not propagate to the other. Okay, synced object will still behave normally, but its position might become desynced, since it will be relative to its parent. A synced object cannot be a child of another synced object. Okay, so that means you can't have quite complex character animations, so like a character holding another object that has to be synced. You'd have to kind of mix it up with animators, I suppose. What's going on with this? Yeah, it's definitely bull stuff, isn't it? So what I will do is I'll just quit it to see if it just needs rebooting. Classic control. Oh, no, there you go, it's gone. Let's go back to the hub. Let's see if that opens. What else we got? Objects. Oh yeah, so you've got empty frame that allows you to add pictures to and other, I think it's just pictures. So you can allow users to put their own images up on the walls and stuff like that. So you can make galleries. And the projector surface. So if you could build a meeting room and allow people to do screen shares. So that's pretty cool. Now the quest building system. is a way for you to, and this was the scene that I was trying to play actually. This will let you create quests. So if I can get this to work, right? Let's see what happens now if we try and rebuild this. Do package, scene feature demo. Okay. Go back to, let's see if this works now. I hope they haven't ballsed it up with this SDK update. It can happen sometimes. Still there. Here I am. Oh, I think it's done. Woohoo! So now we can have a look at some of this stuff in action. I wonder if there's a new demo scene actually with the synchronized objects. So this is the feature demo scene that Spatial give to you in their Unity template. So I haven't built this. Come on. Got to do something about this. There's no other way that I can share the screen and not have it do this, is there? If anyone's got any ideas, please let me know. Yay! Switching in. Oh, here we go. So teleporting is disabled. That's the environment variables bit. So you can turn all that sort of stuff on and off, which is cool. So here the quest system. You can see the quest system gives you this little overview of things that you have to do in this quest. Go towards the point of interest. Collect the coins, dig the coins, raise the flag. I've been on this scene before, and actually I dropped one of the prefabs in here, and it's a boombox thing. Where am I? And you can see it's a prefab, but it has interactivity. So if I press F, I think the site's muted. So I can play and pause that. So you can basically create objects and have give them functionalities, and that's the same. It will be the same as doing this kind of thing in Spatial. So you can add objects. So there's a teeny tiny dog, but I can click it and scale it up. So the idea, I think, with the prefabs is that you can do this kind of thing, but the object isn't just a 3D model. It can have properties and functionalities and stuff like that. So that's going to be very useful. I'm just going to delete that though. So let's have a look at some of these features. Points of interest. And I just triggered a quest thing, did the first quest. So there you can see it's crossed out, go towards point of interest. It's got a little tick. moving platforms is a thing as well, and you can jump in Spatial, otherwise you won't be able to get on and off it. This is the teleport bit. So basically it's two parts to the teleport. There's a bit you walk into, and then the area where you land, and there's one here to go back. So what I'm interested in trying to do is to see if I can add one of these teleports to a moving platform, and what that does, and because that would open up a lot of opportunities to create interesting game mechanics. So you know, you have to be able to access the platform to get to another platform to then access the teleport, which then takes you over the gap. So yeah, that would be interesting to see if you could if you can put them on moving platforms. That's another thing about the moving platform actually. It must be a synced animator. See if that's synchronized. Just to show you what I mean by synchronized, and because Spatial is a multi-user platform. If I go in here and test active scene again, so here you go, collecting coins. So it's just opened up a new browser window. You can see the collectibles that I've just triggered, and it's also done a quest task, collected all the coins. Now I'm going over to another interactable. This time I have to press the F key, and I've completed another quest item. But also I'm in the sandbox again, and if I go here and go back, can't see what I'm doing. Where am I? There you go. Go back down. I should be able to see I should be able to see me, another version of me anyway. Maybe they've opened up a new instance. Unless it's doing something, it's loading me in at the moment. Something's happening here. That's weird. Yeah, there should be two of, you should be able to see that I'm in the same space. It says my sandbox. This is the same environment. I should be in both. There should be two versions of me basically. Anyway, let's have a look at that later. So we've done these interactables, and here's the trigger with an animator. So as you walk towards you go through into the collider, and that opens the door. Here's the seat thing component. I'm going to sit there, and I could upload an image if I wanted. I don't think this works. Oh, I think you have to do it here. Yeah, so share screen. Do that. There it is. So you can do screen sharing. It's pretty much all you can do though. I don't think you can add like webcams and video calls within here at the moment. It's just screen sharing. And finally raise the flag. Big particle effect, and you've done the quest, and it shows here you've done all the quest items. So that's basically it for this demo scene. Let's see if I've got me here yet. So those coins still exist, don't they? Whereas in this one they don't. So I think it must be a different instance that it's created. Yeah, because those coins are gone now. Anyway, so let's close this. What I want to do is just very quickly show you the project that I'm working on as a little bit of research, and it's in scenes, tomb. I need to change the scene here. Hopefully it's not broken with this new SDK. So, the tomb. So I've got all these assets, ancient Egyptian assets, which I'm using. So here's the crate. Let's go into here. So at the moment I've got this first scene. And the door is closed, basically. And this door has if I go to the inspector, has a synced animator, has an audio source box, as it has a collider for the collision on the door itself, but it also has a where is it? Oh yeah, it hasn't got it yet. It's just the to stop you from walking through it, basically. But it has this synced animator as well, which is here. So basically it has a state for opening the door and a state for closing it, and it has their own animation clips. So the synced animator keeps that nice synchronized between the clients. I also have these torch objects, and they have basically, if I show you actually first how this works, so we're going to test active scene on this now. Probably need to delete that one, close that one. Now, okay, so here I am. So this is the environment that I have created in Unity. That sound effect you can hear is the torches burning. In fact, that's probably, it might be these two. But if I start from the beginning, I'll give you an idea of what I'm thinking for this. So you're going to start up here, and basically the idea is that you've entered this tomb and then you're blocked. You can't get out, so you have to try and escape the tomb. So as you walk through here, there'll be information on the walls, clues, text. I'll try and make it a little bit educational as well, So there'll be maybe some murals and information on the tomb and the ancient kings and stuff, and pharaohs and whatnots. I'm gonna have a look into some hieroglyphs as well, so that'll be quite useful for quizzes and activities and stuff. There'll be something in here, I'm not sure what yet. But when you get down into this main room, you'll notice the door's closed and you can't get through. This is a good time actually to test the synchronize again. So let's run another client. Look at that face. Yeah. I think I spoke about this earlier, but Spatial's avatars are really... well, they use Ready Player Me avatars now, but the old avatars are really odd. Oh, look at that, I just sort of fell through. What the hell? Okay, so this is different to yesterday. They've definitely updated something here. They're not allowing multiple clients to be open at the same time. Well, they are, but not with sharing people in them. Because yesterday, by doing this, you would have seen two of me, basically. So they've changed that literally overnight, which is a real shame, because that was your only real way of testing. I might have to reach out to them about that. Unless there's a setting. They may have added it as a setting, because it's the only real way of testing that things are synchronized. So anyway, the first activity that I've done in here is to open this door, and what I'm going to do is there'll be some clues and sequences that you have to go through until eventually you're able to light these torches here. At the moment I've just done it so you walk up to them and they're alight, but I think you'll have to do something else first. I'm thinking it'll be something to do with fire and air and water, so you'll have to choose the element that works to unlock these. But anyway, once you've lit all 4 beacons, the door opens, and then you can go through, carry on. And there's a lot more of these rooms basically, so I need to make them a bit more interesting. I added a seat thing to this crate as well, so you can sit on it. It's a little bit big though. It's kind of legs. Yeah, definitely needs to be a bit smaller, doesn't it? In fact, it needs to be half the size at least. So a quick run through of how I did this with the torches and stuff. So each torch has a script machine on it, which is here. No, it's not. That's something else. What is it? Each torch has a trigger event, that's right, and which turns on the particles. Yeah, so basically you don't need to do much with the scripting on this one. All you have is a trigger event, collider, and in fact you can see if I open up the collider here, you'll be able to see it. That's the collider there. So you only have to walk within this space to start the particle system, turn the point light on, and play the audio. But this also it lets me run trigger a Unity event on the script which is on the parent object here. which is called torch is lit, and that's basically just counting. There's a variable called torch is lit, which is an integer with a value of 0, which gets incremented as you light the torches. When the torches are, all 4 of them are lit, it will set a variable for the door and will start the trigger, the animation trigger. And the animators are just passed into this script machine as variables into the object variables, and so they will set the trigger to open the door, reset the close trigger so everything's nicely synced up, play some audio for the door opening, and also set a variable for the to say that the door is open. Is door open is true. And then also there's another trigger collider up here, which is the reset room trigger event, which goes through and resets everything, turns everything off basically. And so if you go back out of the room and then walk back in, everything's reset. So that includes like other guests, so if anybody walks through it will reset. So you have to be all in the same room for this to work, for you to be able to do the activity. And that is about it. So I've got a little bit of more research to do. Have a look at these objects. So I wonder if they're available now actually. So if on this crate, for example, if I added a component, spatial prefab, what was it called again? Synced object, yeah, there it is. So I could have this box spinning around or doing something, controlling it with script, without using an animator, I assume, and its position will be synchronized across clients, which is interesting. I just need to now work out why I can't have multiple clients open at the same time with to test this out. But what I could do as well is add, I've got some ancient Egyptian assets here for characters and monsters and stuff. In fact, in the package manager, my assets, so I could play around with trying to add a non-player character and give it health and give it variables, you know, to see if there's almost like a final level boss type scenario. Let's try and find the assets. Egypt, here we go. Egypt monster pack. There you go, got some monsters here. This sort of thing. Let me just load these up. Let me mute this, by the way, it's annoying. So look, he's cool, isn't he? So yeah, I wonder if he looks pretty low poly as well. So he could be in the, I could add this guy into the thing, and you have to do something to kill him. You could be a transform object, synchronized object, and have health variables and whatnots. So yeah, that might be what I'll do to test that. Okay, that's about it. I hope you found that interesting, and I'll do a bit of research, find out what's going on with some of those new things that have suddenly appeared with the toolkit, and I'll let you know what's happening tomorrow. See you later. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.